So Tom Reed here down in Tupelo, Mississippi, happened to run into this gentleman. Your name, sir?
Jerry.
Jerry. Okay, Jerry. Jerry, I take these videos and I upload them to YouTube. You okay with that?
Yes, sir.
All right. Jerry, how old are you?
58.
Where are you from?
I live in the South mostly. I've been out there where everything's bitching in the go fart, and I've been around a little bit.
Okay. And how long you been here in Tupelo?
On and off, in and out.
Okay. And what type jobs you had in your life?
Well, running chainsaw, done a little water work, this system for that for cities. Done a little motor mixing, furniture. I put a few tin roofs on.
Okay. You ever had any substance abuse issues?
I was born substance abuse, but I got a GED, which that means get education done.
Yep. Congratulations.
All right, thank you.
Good.
I have 9 minors. I have 6 in the Bible. There's 3 in self-worth, 3 in discipleship, and 3 in fatherhood. But 6 of those are like 60 hours, and one of them's 90, but I couldn't recall which one. It was kind of hard test. Got the little phone interview.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
did you study a lot?
Yeah, it wasn't too bad.
Okay,
it wasn't
good.
too bad.
Cool. And family?
Well, they're just bootleggers, and people come from here and there, you know, and this is the South, and I tell you, people, I ain't heard none of my folks on either side say they ain't been in the cotton field with the plow and this. I actually had an uncle who got drugged to death by a mule back in the day. I've got out there as a kid myself. I didn't have to do it, but I got out there and did what you did. You slid on your knees with a long fence, you tied your string if you was a younger person, and you picked off the bottom of the lower sides. Older folks picked off the top. Well, I read a book about Johnny Cash one time. It's where the word middling comes from. It's fair to middling, good to middling, excellent. It's the way they graded the cotton.
All right. Wow. And this area around here, would you say it's a good quality of life?
Things are cheaper.
They are cheaper.
Cheaper.
Okay.
The roads are a lot better.
Yeah, the roads are great.
Yeah, they used to just roadblock. They just roadblock them to death, you know, once upon a time around here.
Yeah. Your favorite childhood memory?
Favorite childhood memory? I got quite a few. Well,
give me the favorite one.
All right, I tell you, the first one I remember was my dad had this guy at bootleg with him. Man couldn't talk. He was just a drunk, lived in a box car. Stayed at the sheriff. The sheriff, my daddy kind of paid the folks. You know how it goes back then days. We're talking about in the 50s and the 60s. My dad was a very small man, but just had a good balance. Well, he didn't take no shit out of him. And which a lot of these sheriffs and other people respect him, and a lot of them didn't. He's more a man than I ever been, is that what I would say. I could never hold up to him, but bootlegging was the thing it was in the 60s here. So I think like 67 he couldn't get it. Well, one of the memories is we were going to make the whiskey. I said, Daddy, that man ain't got this, that. But Daddy said, son, that don't mean nothing. He's a good man. Because he had nothing, didn't mean anything. One of the next things is pretty good, you know. Just the way I try to look at a lot of folks. One thing I often said, like the man, this is Tupelo, Mississippi. We had a man here called the Tupelo tornado. A tornado come through up in Green Street with the colored Afro-American people up there. It killed quite a few way back in the days. This guy was 6'6", 188 pounds, and you can pull his name up just to see acres, left and to South Paul. Well, me and Mr. Jesse Akers, a lot of us guys, we'd mow yards for some of these rich people. We'd get money. If there was a bail bondsman here, we made money mowing yards and making leads for upper-class people as kids. Well, $1.65 when I got my first job was like 78. So I run a log and chainsaw a little bit before that. That didn't. But anyway, pretty penniless here. But the point of it is, this is one of the good lessons a man taught me. My dad taught me this. And this man, I taught me this. I said, Mr. Jesse, he's way in his 70s. I said, Mr. Jesse, what'd it take to make it life? He said, do your job and be honest with yourself. So I pretty much took that as a good deal. Because this man was a professional boxer. Now in my day, a woman this and that and this and that, which a woman has her day to day. which I know this too. This is different now. It's totally different. You just got your ass whooped back then days, you know?
Yeah.
About your wife and girlfriend, whatever, it's over with. Well, Mr. Jesse Akers, this is one of the worst fears I've had, and I've been caught up in this situation with this girl, and this is social media, politics, and as the Bible says in your fourth grade English and other about social media, you get some of the 7, 8. Robin Hood, Earl Flynn, there's part of it, you should read it. What it was, all the married men was out there and was asking Robin Hood how much money we got. Well, because the black guy, I guess that was with him, which was on the phone, kind of saved Robin. They about had him. Well, he's telling, oh, we got extra money. Well, Robin Hood, or her friend, said we're going to get the social land, like social media or social house. And all the white dudes were cheering on. They said, well, what about the black, colored African American? Of course, he said he gets first choice. And the white guys were very happy about it. Well,
How about this? Your favorite movie?
favorite movie. Couldn't really say favorite movie. I've seen some good ones. I couldn't really say. Favorite movie, John Wayne, gonna be the same situation. It's called Make Them Think You've Been to Hell and Back. They're in the jungle, they're fighting. He's saying which about bringing people over here, what's gonna happen is, which is about the wall now.
Yeah.
He brings up the subject of the taxes and social media. He's all for it. He says later on, 50, 60, 80 years from communication, we will be in trouble. Well, the one dude says, I'll kill him. They can't kill him all.
Okay.
So that's social media. But social media comes from English.
Oh.
And as the Bible says, you'll find it. And there's a lot to it, and there's 3 social houses. Now, I'm not going to preach to nobody because I'm not a preacher, but people, some think, don't know that. Some people don't.
Yep.
Well, they don't understand. But this is the thing about the taxes. Russia just going to try to change some of that themselves. As far as the old bootlegging goes, I used to ride with my dad. They make that beer in the summertime. Had 1962 and a half Galaxy 500 headers. Big points on them. Some transmission, this and that, you know. Well, they take all the beer, back seat out and fill all the back seat with beer and all the trunk. But if you had them old beer cars, they would jack it up and stick a tube before up on it so it wouldn't sag on the way back. Well, that was my job. Well, I'm a child. We'd be dropping up through there. And they said, look, son, look. I said, McDonald's. This boy ain't no McDonald's. That's a golden tonight. Now, that was a child.
Wow.
That was a child, yeah.
How about this? Your favorite book?
Favorite book. I've read a few books. I've read The Night Way and this and that. I've read the Bible several times. There used to be some articles I used to read out of Reader's Digest years ago, which it was up here. I read pretty well, not so much the spelling. As far as math, this is how I figured out how to do fractions. My stepdaddy's tools had been back trucking, he went and greased, and I would put all the tools together.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I kind of figured out, when I was in the 4th grade, well, 16 sixteenths makes an inch. So, you know, that's a basic knowledge set for a set of tools. Well, you could have a 24 each test, 32. So I kind of figured out I could do fractions like that. So I kind of learned this. Reason was the big one, add, subtract, multiply, and divide. I just used the basic sockets and wrenches. It helped me with my math. Further than that, I couldn't go much further.
Okay.
I failed English bad on that test.
That's all right.
I'm computer literate. I don't know nothing much about them telephones, iPods, computer stuff, because I just done furniture and worked and this and that and the other. And,
now, excuse me, are you homeless?
I'm not homeless.
Okay.
You know, Jesus was homeless as a dog where he slept before he left. Sometimes he even slept in the wilderness.
No, you're right about that. You got any questions for me?
Any question? What is that, Michigan?
Yeah.
That's a long way. I've never been up north.
Yeah, you got
Well, I got a good joke for you.
Go ahead,
Yeah,
let me have
and,
it. Let me have it.
It's just a joke. Don't tell it so bad.
Okay.
Well, you know, I was one of the first things I did. A lot of people come down here, you know, that we'll call y'all Yankees and y'all call us Southern Hillbillies. These people used to say, you know, teach a Yankee how to drive, point them north. It's just a joke down here, you know. But like I say, you go to California, these girls talk about nice and this and that. Out there's a totally different lanes that go for it and this and that. And then I've done some bigger places in Tennessee. I've been to some big cities. Yeah, I kind of miss them up around here.
Cool.
There's a lot of things gone now that they can't change, and there's just too many of them. And
Yep.
like I said, I knew that my day was over at the turn of the century.
Yep.
And because of this shit, because when these songs first come out here, they had a FEMA internet. Now, this stuff just was everywhere. Now, I'm dumb as a rat. And I told a couple of girls that got college degrees, I said, it's got to be FEMA. Secret government has pulled it up. Well, it's a bunch of stuff, and I can't read shorthand. But it showed that FEMA is our government. I bricked a FEMA building over here. The internet, ambulances, raincoats, business cards, and all of them's badge. That's your disaster on the 16%, you know.
Yeah.
So they had a big meeting here, certain party and certain party, and I walked right in, and that's what it said. It just didn't make that much sense.
Well, Jerry, I appreciate you talking to me.
Yeah. Well, as far as I say, I work with many colored men doing this fine tour and working in these cities. There's several football players come from Mississippi, and we have all do with Mr. Jerry Rice, a football player from Mississippi. Sure. You know, I watched an interview on him about 3 years ago on METV, which is our educational channel. He's from Crawford, Mississippi. And he was saying, you know, he played baseball, basketball, but he was in the 12th grade. Got caught skipping school, him and a bunch more people. He said the coach and principal said how fast he run. Jerry Rice, his punishment was to start playing football.
Oh, wow.
Sure did, sure did.
Well, Jerry, thank you. I'm going to get going. I appreciate talking to you, and thank you for giving me an interview.
But
Good.
finished up my story on Mr. Jesse C. Akers.
Oh, you want to finish it?
He was a good man. You can pull this name up yourself, the Tupelo tornado.
Yep.
But see, like I say, things have changed from what it used to be and this and that, and these people do what they want, doing wrong. But you know, Mr. Jesse Akers wound up going to chain gang, done some times in prison. But he beat a man to death with his fist, touching or saying something to his wife. So, that's just kind of way I can kick my ass about 3 times, the situation I'm in now. But that's all right. One of my worst nightmares.
Yeah, I'm going to look that up tonight. Thank you, Jerry.
Yes, sir.
I got to